Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Friday, the 5th of May, 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 finished the week at 7,220 points, up 0.4% on the day and down 1.2% for the week. Fears over a crisis among US regional banks and a recession in the world's largest economy dictated sentiment today, as it has all week, as did a couple of big bank results. More on those shortly. It's been a really strong week for gold stocks. Investors are worried about the financials and looking for safety, and that's when the gold stocks shine, pardon the pun. Ramelius Mining, Evolution Mining, Newcrest, Gold Road, Northern Star, they all did really well today. Spot gold prices are up around 3% for the week to $2,050 an ounce. Property stocks have also done well today, at least, with Goodman Group, Stockland Centre and Dexus all rallying. It wasn't such a good day for the coal miners. Coronado Global, Whitehaven and New Hope were among the worst performers. Story number 2, the Reserve Bank released its quarterly economic update today, and the central bank said some further tightening of monetary policy might be needed, depending on how the economy evolves. The Reserve Bank is particularly worried about utility bills and property rental costs. It released new economic forecasts, saying its preferred trim mean inflation reading will be around 6% by the middle of this year and 4% by the end of the year. It thinks economic growth for this calendar year will come in at 1.2%, but then the growth rate will rise to double that level by the middle of 2025. Forecasts and commentary sent the Aussie dollar higher, and it starts the weekend trading around 67.3 US cents. Story number 3, a couple of big banks announced big profits today. Macquarie Group reported a record $5.2 billion for the year to the end of March. The bank will pay out a slightly lower than expected dividend, and its share price finished down slightly to $177.35 a share. Chief Executive Shamara Wickramanayake said she was cautious about the outlook, but the group is ready to capitalise on the right opportunities for growth. And in Melbourne, ANZ boss Shane Elliott reckons competition in retail banking is as intense as it has ever been in Australia and New Zealand. He made the comments after the bank reported a record $3.8 billion half-year cash profit. The profit for the half-year to the end of March was on expectations, though Australia's fourth largest bank paid a slightly higher than expected dividend. Its share price rose 1.5% today, pretty good performance, to $23.80 a share. Story number 4, the Albanese government will establish a national net zero authority and devote $400 million from its Powering the Regions fund to help workers, communities and investors manage the transition to a low-carbon economy. Unions and business have called for a more coordinated approach to shifting towards renewables, including what it means for individuals, for communities and towns that rely on fossil fuel mining. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said the authority will have responsibility for promoting the orderly and positive economic transformation associated with achieving net zero emissions. Australia has committed to cutting emissions by 43% on 2005 levels by 2030, on the way to cutting emissions to net zero by 2050. And story 5, Apple reported better than expected revenue and profit this morning, with iPhone sales strong while turnover from Macs fell. Apple made about 140 billion Aussie dollars worth of sales in the 3 months to March. The 1.5% rise in iPhone revenue was a pretty good result, given the rest of the industry is struggling with a decline in the sales of smartphones, tablets and PCs. Apple is winning customers in Brazil, India and Mexico, Chief Executive Tim Cook said. The bad news is on the Mac side, with sales down more than 30%. Sales of wearables like AirPods and Apple Watches fell by about 1%. The biggest growth area for the company is its service business, including iCloud and Apple Pay. That's it for the afternoon report for Friday, the 5th of May, 2023. Michael Thompson, Adam Lang and I will be back tomorrow morning with a weekend edition of Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.